Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Black Mirror 3. Let's continue. So we, in the last episode, was playing as Valentina, and now we can switch between the two. I don't know that it really matters too much. We called the tarot lady, she messed up her tarot deck and had multiple death cards, which shouldn't happen. We also have this column that Valentina found, and the jewelry box, which he just smashed open, which I thought that was
need the right key for that.
pretty much the best solution to a puzzle I've seen in this point and click series for a long time. Just like a total don't even bother to try and solve it. But that also is kind of a
perfectly. But nothing's happening. The thing's either busted or there's something missing.
Alright, so we're gonna have to find the gem that is missing here.
A golden sword hilt. It was hidden in Victoria's jewelry box. It's missing a gemstone.
Alright, and there's nothing else to click on over here. It's kind of ridiculous that you can take a nap and rest. Let's go to the tea room and see if maybe we can open the secret vault and see if that would work. We can still click on this black mold, but unless I'm going to use the pliers on the black mold, I'm still fairly certain nothing I have works on that. And I can't even click on the vault, which this would be, if a gem is missing and it was picked up, putting it in the place where you hide all your valuables would make sense. Alright. So I can't go outside, right?
It's pissing rain out.
It's not going to let us leave. Alright. Okay. He can use the socket. So, extension cord on the socket. Now. It wouldn't let me do this before. And now use this extension cord with the stairs to the cellar. Just throw it over the edge.
So now I've got the option to connect something up down there.
But he won't go down there, right?
I won't be able to see a thing down there. I should get myself some light first.
So this is where we need Valentina's help, because she has matches and she wouldn't just hand the matches over to him, although didn't really give us a reason why she wouldn't just hand the matches over to him. You know, in the real world, if you were exploring or trying to solve a puzzle, I don't think many people would ask, hey, what do you have in your pockets? But then again, most people would not have anything in their pockets of much use. So let's see. The matchbook, she just won't let me, she won't give them to him. And you don't get a negative response. They didn't animate any of that.
The catacombs is in the library. There's no reason for me to go into the dark cellar anymore.
Alright, so Adrian needs to talk to her.
Valentina.
Yes.
And talk about the missing jewel.
I think we still need something here for the sword hilt to work.
It's not working. You think that's because of the missing gemstone?
Could be possible. The question is, where is this stone? Could be anywhere. Could have been lost hundreds of years ago.
I don't think so. If the key had been broken for a long time, why did Victoria hide it? No. I think the stone is missing intentionally, as an added safeguard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but where should we start looking?
Did Victoria give you anything before she died? An heirloom, jewelry, a signet ring?
Not to me, but Angelina.
What?
Her bracelet, she showed it to me. Yes, I remember well. There were rubies on it too. Perhaps we need one of them?
And where is the bracelet now?
The police evidence locker.
Then get it. We don't have much time.
Okay, well, apparently now we can leave for the entirety of the game. So the question, I guess, to ask here is, will Valentina stay in the house? Or will she go
It's
outside?
raining cats and dogs. I think I'd better stay in the castle.
Alright, and will he leave the house? So now I can leave the house, which basically all this does then is make a new fast travel option for me, where I can just switch back to Valentina if I need to do something in the castle but I don't have items, but it doesn't require any items. But then that would also mean Valentina would have to have some magical knowledge of...
Don't reckon this hole's got much more to offer.
Let's see. Do we have any item that would work with this? No. Yeah. I still would have to have Adrian come back, though, if he picks up any item. Or if the game just decides knowledge is not magically shared between the two characters. It's a weird situation you're in, because basically all the knowledge in the heads of the main characters are exactly the same as the knowledge of the that's in the head of the player, me. So if I figured out that you need to pull like the third lever on the left at some point, I could just have the switch to Valentina and have her do that. But then often in games they'll say, no, we're not going to do that because we don't have any reason to. And this definitely feels like one of those games that where unless the actual characters have a reason to do something, they won't do it. Alright. And we've spent a lot of time in the rain in this game. Let's see. It would be interesting to find out where we can go and where we can't. Our eyes are no longer black, so we can theoretically travel to more places.
Sunglasses? They've got to be from Edward.
Oh, Edward's...
Actually, an umbrella would be better right now. But what the hell?
Edward's the new butler that they introduced, I think, for the sole reason of him being capable of carrying you to the castle so far, or to set up for Black Mirror 3 or 4. Aww. I guess I could have gone downstairs with the candle grave and the lighter. I guess that doesn't matter. Alright, so where can we go? We can go to Ralph, we can go to the church, we can go to this inner crossing, we can go to the tumble-down building. We can't go to the lighthouse. Doesn't seem like we can go to the swamps or the academy, at least fast traveling. We can't go to that location. We can go to Gordon's Palace. So let's just fast travel and save ourselves some frustration. Let's see. Water barrels are getting all flooded. It does raise an...
Strange. It's never been so quiet here before.
It's kind of an interesting question about, like, why or what do you do with marshlands and swamplands? Like, there's no way we've really figured out how to do too much as far as farming in swamplands. You can hunt alligator about that much.
It's done. Case closed. Angelina's letter convinced the judge completely.
Some good news.
A lot more than that. And is there anything I can do for you?
Let's see. Redeployment, missing jewel. Let's ask about redeployment.
How's it looking with your transfer?
Now that's lying on my boss's desk. And knowing him like I do, he's gonna let me stew for a while. But it'll come through sooner or later.
The clock decided to stop flickering.
Now with the case closed, all of the pieces of evidence are no longer required, right?
In theory, not anymore, no.
Then it wouldn't be a problem if I got the bracelet back. You do know that it's a family heirloom.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks.
Zach!
He's being really nice. All of a sudden. There's really no reason to write Spooner as such a jerk. It hasn't played really into any part or role in the game. You just get the bracelet back and nothing else?
Goodbye.
Fare thee well, my lord.
And we're just gonna try and stick with natural gameplay. Like, I really don't see a reason to go into the old-fashioned shop. I don't see a reason to go into the cafe. Like, we'll check the cafe and see if maybe Edward is still working in the cafe. On top of being a butler. Yeah. So the cafe is shut down. I don't think we're gonna see Denise. How many dead bodies did we run into in this game? It seems like it's been less than 5. Seems like 2, 3. So playing naturally, there's really no reason, I think, to go through any of this. And it's not like I'm really enjoying any bit of dialogue or extra thing I do. So, knowing that, let's just move forward. I hope I have everything before I walk in this room. I think I do. If I take the pliers and use it on the bracelet, that'll remove a gem.
1 ruby's enough.
And one assumes that it's just the shape of the rubies, not anything magical.
Exactly into the socket on the hilt of the sword.
Maybe if I'd looked at the bracelet first, he would have said, "Oh, all of these are glass except for one." Or all of these look new except for one.
There's a spiral staircase here. I can't see how far down it goes. It has to be a good few stories. Ladies first.
Are you scared? Or are you exercising your role as Lord of the Manor?
The Guardian isn't allowed to die. Those were your words. I'm just playing it safe. That's supposed to be the catacombs? Looks like the sewer system.
Patience. This is just the beginning.
So we're in a new area. I think I am going to give her the rope back. Because I kind of don't... Interesting how both people put their hands out as if they're grabbing into each other's pockets. I think that was just an odd animation. Usually they probably have the characters stand further apart. As for anything else, I don't know. Let's see. We'll light the candle.
A candle for the dead.
Now lit. Let's see. So we have a water basin, we have a chain, we have symbols, we have symbols of a drain.
The whole thing could be some kind of cistern. It collects rainwater from all over the castle. It's brought here and then goes stagnant. No, there has to be an outflow somewhere as well. There are hieroglyphics
At least an
etched all around
overflow.
here. Did the druids build these walls?
Would Valentina know any of this better?
Here's a pitchfork and a flower.
See, Valentina, she should be an expert in like druidic symbology and basically a lot of historical things that Adrian really wouldn't be an expert in. So maybe she'll look at these items and see something different.
There's a bird and a head chiseled in here. There's a fish and a hand on this column. A hefty chain. It's hanging into the water.
So what else is there to click on?
In this environment, there can only be a whirlpool. Huh. The water's been standing there for some time. I reckon that's the remains of the water from putting out the fire. At any rate, it's not normal sewage.
Yeah, the water from putting out a fire, particularly in an old building, is probably full of all kinds of chemicals. You just would not have a clue. You would not want to touch it.
I think that's supposed to be a house. Or a shack. A bird relief.
So maybe one person has to stand on one relief, one person has to stand on the other. We'll switch to Valentina and see what we can look at.
There's standing water throughout the whole drainage system. Maybe the outflow's blocked somewhere. A swimming pool for cellar ghosts? I don't understand why that's supposed to be here. The chain comes out of the shaft and disappears into the water.
So you kind of have a nice balance here where you would have a character who's more into the metaphysical and a character who's more into the scientific. That certainly, I'm getting a lot of vibes of Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, where there was a character who was Indiana Jones was scientific for the most part, and then there was this psychic lady who also you could switch between.
That's most strange. What are Pictish glyphs doing here on English medieval walls?
But there definitely is
The house in connection with an amphora. That could mean a store. Amphoras were used back then like barrels are today.
So yes, she does seem to translate it better. But if this game did come out after Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis, which it almost certainly did, they really dropped the ball if they were just going to try and steal those ideas. They missed a lot of other ideas to steal.
Version of a torch, and I've never seen this symbol before. A bird usually represents the death of a person, and we've got a head which fits with this, from whoever. The fish is the symbol for the first day after a new moon. With a hand, though, that doesn't make sense.
So she can translate this stuff, but it doesn't seem like it matters.
The house in a circle. That's a new one for me. That could point to a family property or inheritance. Death on its own without any other glyphs isn't a good sign.
A bird relief.
But getting him to stand on any of this seems like we can go up the spiral staircase. or push any of these.
Here's an illustration of a house and a jar.
Like, I have no inventory item that seems to work with any of this stuff. So we can have a conversation with her, I guess, and see if maybe we need to talk this out. Otherwise, we're gonna have to leave.
Valentina,
Yes.
do any of these symbols around us mean anything to you?
These symbols look like Pictish glyphs. Obviously an ancient form of writing. More than 6,000 years old. So, I'm wondering what business have they got being on these walls?
Maybe one of my ancestors thought they looked nice? Do you know what they mean?
Sort of. But don't ask me how you vocalize them.
I can't see any other exit here. Can you?
Looks like we're in a dead-end street.
But it can't be, though. It has to continue somewhere. Maybe there's another secret passage.
Certainly not out of the question. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, it seems like the game is directly telling us, get out of here. You walked into this place, but you can't solve it. Did I even need to be in this area to... I think probably, yes. Like, I think it starts with this, and then we have to get back to the cellar. Now that I have that candle for the dead lit, I can go downstairs as Adrian for the first time, and then we can see if we can connect the hose to the pump, throw it down the well, and use that. Okay, so extension cord.
Here's the end of the extension cable.
Alright. There's a construction light.
A construction light. Just like the ones all around the castle. Except without any power.
Okay, so use the extension cord with the construction light. Thank goodness the solution is there. I wonder if he would refuse to walk any further to the right.
Energy.
There's a 3-phase power cable.
There's a thick electric cable hanging from the roof, just above a puddle of water. Craig was right. It isn't safe down here.
Alright, so are we supposed to use like the pliers on that? Or are we supposed to just touch it and die immediately? Before we touch wire that they just said wasn't safe, let's instead see if we find some gloves or something.
Empty. I'm guessing that they used to store wine or beer here back in the day. Those days are long gone, though.
Yeah, what do you do with old wine casks?
Boxes of empty wine bottles.
Burn them, I imagine.
Just in case there's a life for me after Mordred, I'm gonna give this castle a real cleanup and throw it all of this old junk. Well, I'll hand the job over to Edward, of course. A shelf of wine bottles. As far as I can tell, they're all still full. 1953. Either extremely valuable or completely disgusting.
Yeah, the good news is you probably could sell them, though, and collectors would take them anyways.
But the sewer system couldn't cope with the huge volume of extinguishing water. The water isn't draining away anymore.
Now, in the first game, there was a whole puzzle around cleaning out a drain. It seems like we're going back to this point.
There are only busted boxes and barrels back there. I guess that's the main switch for the electricity in the cellar. Who needs fuses if you've got such a big lever? There are drains under the puddles, but the sewer system couldn't cope with the huge volume of extinguishing water.
We're back
The
to
water
the
isn't draining
clock
away
making
anymore.
noise, by the way. Like, there's literally only one area in this entire game where a clock makes a ticking sound.
Valentina, can you hear me?
Yes?
Interesting. Let's switch to Valentina for a second. Tick tock, tick tock. So if it was intentional that only Darren would hear the clock and this would be some subtle indication that he's crazy or hallucinating all of this, it falls apart when you can switch to Valentina and also hear the clock ticking. It clearly is just a bug in the system.
I think that's the power connection for the water pump. I guess there were no power plugs back then. Oh, that's just one pole. Does this thing use direct current? So I wonder where you attach the other pole.
Yeah. Ooh, that doesn't sound like good wiring. One pole?
The wire rope is wrapped tightly around the pipe. I guess it's an earth for the water pump. Or is it the second pole?
I think it's both.
No idea what kind of pipes those are. Water, sewage, I guess.
Like, they used to run wiring with just one positive charge line, and then grounding was not used at all, or no neutral return. Very early on, they decided that a neutral and 2 wires should be used, and eventually they got to 3 wires, which the ground is always safe, a safety wire that should never be energized.
You can turn the pump on and off with that. You can even adjust the direction of rotation and the speed. Theoretically, I could pump the cellar full of water again, slowly or quickly.
So if I flooded the cellar, how does that? Wouldn't the water just go through the grate? Is that literally what I'm gonna do? Is just flood this place to get the water out of the lower area?
There are 2 huge water basins here. They must go back to when they had no running water. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, and of course you can have 2 or 3 phase electricity that has multiple energized lines, which are usually just used for like ovens and dryers to get a little bit more voltage in the United States. The UK, on the other hand, they run off 240 volts for everything, which seems wasteful until you start to think about just how many tea kettles they run. But that's like their number one problem, is everybody is having tea at the exact same time. So we have a power connection. Like, if you didn't understand electricity,
lying around the well. No idea what they're for.
like, this is going to be a difficult puzzle for people that don't have a clue about electricity. And even for me, it doesn't seem blatantly obvious.
Chain like that to lift it.
Alright. This chain, I think we're going to use on the water pump. Let's see.
I don't think that the pump will suck up a metal chain.
Alright, so we're going to have to do some modifications. Pliers on the water pump? Let's see. We had a hose at some point. What did I do with the hose? Don't tell me I actually have to give the rope back to him. And now everything is freaking back?
Valentina! Can you hear me?
Yes?
Alright, well, let's just murder ourselves. Wire rope. And use that on the water pump.
I'll put the cable into the connecting on the pump.
Excuse me. And this power connector, like a 3-phase wire, should theoretically work, but apparently I'm putting it to the grate. Why am I doing that?
The power cable is now hanging through the grill and straight into the water.
Okay, so we're gonna kill ourselves completely here. We're gonna take this 3-phase wire and put it in the puddle. Then we're gonna go over there and switch. Let's see, 3-phase power cable or 1-phase power cable. But we can't even do anything with the 1-phase power cable anymore. So put it in the puddle.
If it weren't for me being a former student of physics, I'd call that kind of action suicide. Now the end of the cable's hanging directly in the water.
Activate the lever. If this somehow electrocutes either one of the characters, I'll be shocked.
The electricity is on. I should be careful where I step and what I touch.
So now I can step through the puddle, assuming I have rubber sole shoes or something. Let's hit the controls.
The construction works, but there's not much electricity getting to it. The water doesn't conduct very well.
So I guess that means we need the salt. Let's go back up, hit the lever to turn it off so we're not sprinkling salt into the water and electrocuting ourselves.
The electricity is off again.
We've been able to see the salt for a very long time. Again, quite the puzzle here. You're having to know that salt water is a better conductor than regular water.
Salt, probably for when it's icy. I'll take a handful of grit salt with me, just in case I have to help some old grandma cross an icy street.
The fact that you couldn't pick up this stuff until right when you needed sucks. It's just the whole point of a point-and-click adventure like this is the idea that you're going to have ridiculous items in your inventory that you won't need for a while. Limiting you in this way just makes the game slightly easier at the expense of making the game way more frustrating.
The puddle's seasoned enough.
So now we turn on the water.
The electricity is on. I should be careful where I step and what I touch.
By modern standards, the whole house needs to be rewired for electricity. But I mean,
That's good. Here's to electricity.
the entire fire really probably would justify tearing down the whole house and building it from scratch. Like, even if it looks like the same building, it'd probably be easier. Well, that was disappointing. We have a water
That's
pump.
the water pump, which they use to pump away the extinguishing water. It's a real monster, and ancient too. I'm surprised that thing even works.
And see, that wrote something new in the book. chain with the water pump.
I don't think that the pump will suck up a metal chain.
Chain. What are some other things that we could use the chain on? It's odd that we can pick up the chain. Apparently I might need the rope. After all, I'm going to have to use the water pump to get the rope sucked in, is my guess. Which means there's just more to do. And it's been another 30 minutes. Actually, it's been 35 minutes. We made decent progress, I suppose. Now that we've made it to save slot 30, 15 hours plus into this game. We are approaching the end, one hopes. But boy is this just dragging its feet. That wasn't too bad of a puzzle though. Although a little bit of help here and there would have been useful. Maybe find a book in the library about electronics. Maybe see a diagram somewhere. Maybe have a conversation option between the two characters, which maybe there is something like that. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, if you want a friend to follow me, there's a bunch of links down below. If you want to support me, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.